Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. It's a course called We the People, and it's giving students a unique opportunity to learn more about constitutional history, law, and civics. The class and We the People competition enhance knowledge of the Constitution while allowing students to defend beliefs, rights, and roles as U.S. citizens. On this episode of the Supercast, we take you inside West Hills Middle School to learn more about We the People and find out how students consistently use their skills and knowledge to compete and rise to the top in the statewide We the People competitions. Let's start in the classroom with teacher Austin Wrathall. We're here at West Hills Middle School with Austin Wrathall to talk about the We the People competition. First of all, I have to tell you, I got walked down to my old classroom. When the principal showed me your classroom, it's actually the classroom I taught in the first year this school was open, and it was a little trippy to walk down the hall, and I'm like, she's getting closer, that's the turn, and it's pretty wild. So how's it holding up?
It's holding up pretty well, I think.
I hope that I left good vibes in the classroom for you.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, good. Tell us about the We the People competition.
Yeah, so the We the People competition is a competition for students to learn about the Constitution. So the students hold a simulated congressional hearing, and if anyone's unfamiliar with what that is, sometimes the U.S. Congress will call in expert witnesses and ask them questions, and this is something that the students will get to experience, except in a real congressional hearing, the topic could be anything, but for them the topic is the U.S. Constitution, so they get to study the Constitution in depth and display their knowledge in front of a panel of judges.
How long do you prepare for this competition, and what's involved in the preparation?
Yeah, so it takes several months, and the students study from a textbook in addition to other online resources. So they have to prepare a 4-minute speech that they deliver as a group, and then they have to be prepared to answer 6 minutes worth of judge questions. And these questions could be about republicanism versus democracy, or how the Constitution was influenced by things that happened in the colonial and Revolutionary War eras and things like that.
It sounds like these students who are in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, 8th grade,
Yep.
These 8th grade students may know a lot more about the Constitution than most of us. Is that accurate?
I think so, and in trying to teach them all of this stuff, I have had to learn more about the Constitution than I knew before this as well.
Is there something surprising that you learned about the Constitution that you didn't expect?
Yeah, I would say so. There are little bits of constitutional history that surprised me, and also things that were in the amendments, particularly amendments that we overlook a little bit sometimes, and it's been interesting to learn all of that. We also have a team of students who is studying judicial review and the independence of the judiciary. So they and myself have been able to learn a lot about that topic as well.
Any specific examples of an amendment or history of the Constitution that you found particularly interesting? Yeah,
so the kids are really good at asking questions, and when they ask a question that I don't know the answer to, I have to go out and try to find it, or I give them the opportunity to do so. And one interesting thing that we learned was the Founding Fathers gave us 2 ways to amend the Constitution. You could do it through Congress and state legislatures, or through national and state conventions. And we learned that the National Convention method has never led to any amendment in all of U.S. history, and there's only been one amendment that was ratified through state conventions, and that was the 21st Amendment. And actually Utah was the final convention needed to ratify that amendment, so it's even linked to our own state's history, which is pretty cool.
And which amendment was that?
And that amendment would be the one repealing a previous amendment and making alcohol legal again in the United States.
And so Utah was the vote that made that happen?
Utah was the last vote needed to make that happen, yes.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So I'm already walking away with more constitutional knowledge.
Well,
it feels good. It feels good. Let's talk with, let's see what else. So there's a competition, and that happens every year about this time. And I guess because it's 8th grade students who compete, you always have a fresh batch of students that you're working with.
Yeah, so this is actually my first year coaching the competition. I had a wonderful teacher who worked with me to prepare this. She has done the program before, so it's fresh this year for everybody. But yeah, we always have a fresh batch of 8th graders who are working on this, and the good news is they also have a high school program. So if anyone is wanting to do the competition and they miss out on it in middle school, there is an opportunity to participate at the high school level.
Now, do students participate as part of a class they enroll in, or do they do it after school? How does that work?
Good question. So at our school, it's part of our honors level class. There are other schools who offer it as part of the regular U.S. History 8th grade class. And so it really depends on the school, but if anyone is interested in it, I would highly recommend they talk to their social studies department at their school, or get in touch with the main office, or even contact someone at the program itself. It's run by Law-Related Education, I believe it's called.
I love that our students are becoming more closely engaged with the Constitution. I'm sure that they reflect on the news and their personal responsibility as a citizen in different ways because of their experience with you.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been really great, especially in the past few years, as we have had a lot of events in the news related to the Constitution. I was even looking in my inbox today, and there was an announcement in the New York Times that a Supreme Court justice is going to retire. And now we can talk about, what does that mean? What's going to happen? What's going to be the new process if we see a vacancy in the Supreme Court? And they are able to form opinions on that, and it's really great to watch them engage with this process of government. So
that's really exciting. I'm sure that the curiosity you spark with these conversations will continue for a long time in their lives, and they'll engage in civic life to a much greater degree than they would if they didn't get the chance to have this experience.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope, and the hope is that it's not just a fun experience this year. The hope is that it will help them to be good, responsible citizens, to share their knowledge with other people, and then when it comes time to do things like vote and participate in their communities and teach their own families, that they'll be able to carry this with them and make a big difference wherever they end up.
So then, do the 8th graders that you teach end up looking through the school code of conduct and district policies with a different lens, where they start to nitpick your disclosure perhaps a little more than they did before they got into the Constitution?
Not so far, but I did ask, one of the questions they had to study was what rights they have as a middle school student. So maybe
a classic 8th grade question, yes. What are my rights as an 8th grade student? Have you had to amend your disclosure statement? That's the really important thing.
We have not had to amend anything, and we haven't had to lawyer up so far to take these kids on, which maybe we will.
Well, you're a brave man, and this is a great way for students to be just more engaged with the world around them and more connected to the Constitution and their country. So it's dynamite. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Do you simply love learning online? We can't wait to have you join the amazing teachers in our brand new Jordan Virtual Learning Academy. In Jordan Virtual Learning Academy schools, we offer innovative, fun, and flexible online learning with daily real-time instruction from teachers. Enrollment is currently open for all K-12 students in Utah. Start on the path to personalized virtual learning success now at connect.jordandistrict.org. That's connect.jordandistrict.org.
We're here with 3 students at West Hills Middle School, part of the We the People team. I told your teacher this was my classroom the first year the school opened. So I was a teacher here back in the 1900s. Does the 1900s sound like a long time ago?
Yeah. Depends on what year.
All right, we won't talk more about that, but I'm really excited to talk with you today about the We the People competition. Tell me your name.
My name is Mazzy Blau.
Just preparing for this competition, tell me what that has meant to you.
Well, it's taken a long time, and some of the days I felt super pumped and prepared, and then some of the days I was just stressed, and that's also because of outside life. But having the ability to have a group and help you work with your teams makes it so much easier and better than just having to do it by yourself.
So it's not just about what you learn about the Constitution, not just preparing for competition, but it's the opportunity to work with the team and learn with peers.
Yeah, I agree. And just growing friendships that I don't think I would have had these people in my life if I didn't do this competition, and it's made me thankful for the people that I have in my life.
Do you think you'll have some lasting friendships from this experience?
Most definitely.
That's awesome. That's a big part of what we hope happens in middle school for you. Tell me your name.
I'm Emma Westonsko.
Tell me about your experience being on a We the People team.
We the People has really been probably a great decision that I made. I was super excited about it, and so that's why I chose to be in History Honors, because I knew that I would get this opportunity. And just like Mazzy said, I have met some people that I thought I would probably never be like in a group with. And it's, even though some days it's really hard in the assignments, you feel like you can't do it, your team is there to help you if you need it. And it's also a really cool experience because I get the opportunity to do this competition that I thought I would never have the opportunity to. And I think it's just going to be a blast when we do the competition next week.
So you've made some great friends as well.
Yes, I have.
Not everyone can say that they made closer friendships by talking about the Constitution, so I'm glad you've been able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
My name is Ben Rollins.
And what do you think of all this?
I think this competition has been fun so far. It's been fun to be able to learn more about the Constitution, and also, as they've already previously said, being able to go with groups and participate in these things, also working together. It's made more friendships, and yeah, it's just been very fun. Another thing is also learning more about the Constitution and really being able to dive further into it and like going farther than what I've learned previously in other classes.
So tell me something that you learned about the Constitution as a part of this project that is really interesting or important to you.
So our unit that we're doing is, it's basically about citizen rights and responsibilities. So it's been fun to sort of learn about those different things and what we can and can't do as a citizen.
And the rights and responsibilities go hand in hand, and that's a really important concept. I love that. What have you learned that's really stood out to you?
So my unit is, we've learned kind of more about like the English Bill of Rights and the Intolerable Acts, the Sugar Act, and all that part of coming up to when they did create the Constitution. And I got to learn more about the British's side of the story that I didn't know before. I was always, just since I was born here in America, I just always knew the American side of the story, and knowing what more into depth of the story and knowing what the British went through also has, that's probably the biggest thing I learned, and it's really cool.
So learning another perspective, the British point of view, and the history of how the Constitution came to be and what factors were involved has given you a deeper appreciation for it.
Yeah, it has.
That's great. How about you? What are some of the things you've learned and felt about the Constitution as a part of being involved in this?
Well, my unit, we are talking about due process rights and just being able to see what kind of due process rights there are, who gets the certain due process rights, what amendments go with the rights. And I thought one was really cool. So juveniles, they don't actually get the right to parole. And one of the judge questions that we get to answer is something along the lines of, should juveniles have the same rights as adults? And it really makes you think, because are there types of rights that are needed in a juvenile case that you don't need in an adult case? And it just makes you think, and making your brain wrap around the question is, I honestly think it's fun because you get to learn about so many different things, and kind of like Emma said, you get to go through different perspectives because we got to see different cases that used different process rights, and I think that just being able to learn more about the Constitution makes it super cool, because I don't think I would have learned more if I didn't do We the People.
I love this more and more. I wish I'd had the chance to be part of it, hearing the experiences that you've had. Tell me, do you engage with current events and the news in a different way because of your newfound understanding of the Constitution?
Yeah, we definitely do, because when we are writing our speech and our judge questions, answers, we put it into parts, and the last part is current event or personal connection, and it's allowed me to see how much our history is to now, and being able to make that connection has been really cool, and something I probably wouldn't have recognized before.
Awesome. So, are you all on different teams? Yeah. Your rivals? Is anyone the Patriots? No? Do you name the teams?
No.
The Whigs? Anybody? Any Tories here? No? No. Okay.
Just, yeah.
Okay, just units.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how it's organized.
So there's just 6 units throughout the whole We the People, and since there's 2 U.S. History Honor classes, there's 2 of both teams. So there's 2 Teams 1s, 2 Team 2s, 2 Team 3, 2 Team 4, and so on until Team 5 and 6. And I'm on Team 6. I believe she's on Team 2, and you're on Team 5. So, yeah.
Okay. So you're not in competition with each other.
No, we're going to be competing against
part of the overall team.
So
okay.
And it's
for the for the school-wide competition, we'll be going against the first class 6th period, and we will be, certain units will be chosen to go statewide, and then those 6 units from the 2 classes will go against the whole state, and we'll go from there.
I see. So it'll be unit by unit. Whoever wins each unit at the school level will then form a team to go on and compete at the state level.
Yeah, kind of. So it's basically like, since I'm Team 2, I'm going against Team 2 in 6th period.
Okay.
And whoever has the highest score out of those 2, our teacher will determine that will get to go to state, which will happen, I think, the 16th of February.
Okay, great. Well, I think you guys have a great chance of moving forward. I'm really impressed with what you've learned about the Constitution. I need to go back and do a little reading myself. So congratulations on enjoying some really deep, meaningful learning as an 8th grader here at West Hills.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you will do today. We'll see you out there.